The Wellness Show, episode number 321.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome everybody to The Wellness Show, and we are not live on Facebook today, but this is March the 12th, 2020, and welcome to the show. And here's our magnificent host. Say hello, Laura.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Yes, thanks for showing up, everybody. We're having technical problems yet again, but I'm excited by the fact that some of you are actually figuring out how to come onto the show through Zoom, and that's great because we get to have a much more intimate way of being able to contact you, talk to you, and get your questions answered. So without further ado, there's a number of things I want to talk about. Of course, I want to ask you if you have any questions, but also I want to talk about the coronavirus. I want to talk about the upcoming workshop on dowsing and energy healing in Sedona. And I want to talk about Chronic Pleasure, which is a book published by a friend. And how can she be in chronic pleasure when we're not? What is that all about? That sounds pretty exciting to me. And Laura, do you have things that you would like to talk about?
I really want to talk about the coronavirus and what's up with all the toilet paper and the paper towel. Why is that going off the shelves? And I wouldn't mind actually talking about what I saw. What do you think? Because I shared it with you. It might be a little bit too much, though.
All right. Well, what was that you shared me? Ring my bell again.
I shared with you and Tony about the thing that popped out onto my wall.
Oh, I didn't see that. What popped out of your wall?
No, it didn't pop. It popped out of my phone onto my wall.
Oh, popped out of your phone and onto your wall, yeah.
Remember the spider?
The spider. No, I don't remember that. Tell me more.
I didn't. There, I think
we're already going into the other realms already here on the show. We're going into the dark depths of the mysteries of life. There's spiders jumping out of phones, but don't worry, people.
There are, and it was insane because I think it was all like fear-based. You know how like spiders scare you? I don't know, but it was energetic, and I was like, go away, like you don't. But I knew it was about the coronavirus.
All right, so let me ask a question. I mean, we did that whole battle cry, so was that before or after you had that running?
It was before. Yeah, the battle cries made a huge difference.
All right. So because this is all part of the coronavirus, so let's start with there. Since the 1970s, there's been technology, of course, available by the nefarious ones to be able to do mind control. And the way that you do mind control is that you just go on the same wave as the human brain, and you broadcast it to that person. The technology since the 70s has advanced, of course, with the smartphones and 5G and all the rest of that, which is all part of the upscale of this technology. So why am I talking about this? Because it's really important. It's fundamentally the basis of what we teach here is for you to understand how to take back your personal power, how to stand in your truth no matter what. And you can say, well, yeah, but who cares, whatever, blah, blah. But when there's voices in your head that are broadcast through electronics, whether it's coming through your TV, your telephone, like spiders, third dimensional realities, like holographic forms in the sky, like UFO invasions and all this false stuff that we're about to get, like the coronavirus to scare the bejesus out of people, it behooves you to know, is this coming from my human mind consciousness, or is this coming from my true nature, which is what this Laura and I did before this broadcast. Because if it's coming from your human mind consciousness, it's really hard for you to know that thought that's broadcast to you is yours, or it is your own, or being projected onto you. Right. So one of the first things you can do if that happens to you is ask the question, is this my thought? Yes or no, through body dowsing or pendulum. And of course, if your pendulum is attuned to, I only want my answer from my higher self, which is your true self or your true nature, connected to source or God or however you want to call it, right? Or the
Mhm.
infinite. Then you'll get the answer whether it is or not. Better yet is if you know how to be in your true nature, that state where you're the witness of your I am presence and witness of you and your body, then you'll know for sure. It'll just ring your bell that that's being projected into your sphere, and you can immediately exclude it. Right.
And I
Remember,
think
the dominant energy, good, bad, or ugly, always wins. Now, I don't mean win in the sense of you get the champion trophy, although maybe you do get the champion trophy by doing that. What I mean is the dominant vibration always subsumes the lesser vibration. So if you're under attack and you're in fear, that's going to immediately affect your whole endocrine system, your emotions, and going to put you in fight and flight, and your whole ability, your immune system is going to crash. Okay?
right.
This is what this is all about. If you're in your true nature and you know what the truth is of what's happening, then your immune system will be enhanced because you're in your true nature, and you will be less subjected to what's happening with the coronavirus. Now, does that mean that you may be totally excluded from it? Most likely, yes. You'll always be in the right place at the right time and taken care of. But even if you did get it, then it's going to be it's going to have a lesser effect on you because you're working on your immune system. So why is this important at this time? To me, it's really exciting time. We have all this fear-based stuff that's coming from the news. We're in a pandemic, and we're locking down the borders of the United States, and blah 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 blah, and are the emergency services going to be overwhelmed? Panic, 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 panic. And really what it's doing is exposing the underbelly of America and the world of all our fear, doubt, shame, guilt, and all the rest of the stuff that's going on, and forcing us to know how to do this, to get into our true nature, to get in our higher consciousness, and start to work with this. So how do we work with this? Well, we know that when two or more are gathered, there's a third party. We know that it's a factor of 10 or more. We know that when we clear ourselves, we're clearing 6 generations in the past, 7 generations in the future. We know when we're doing the work of taking back our personal power, we're clearing 60,000 incarnations, right? So if we take 60,000 incarnations plus 6 generations in the past, 7 generations in the future, we're at 6.4 million souls.
It's a lot.
Incarnations that we're clearing. So if you can take that multiplier effect, every person who understands what we're doing and does it collectively, then multiplies that by a factor of 10, we're at the 100th monkey. We're at the transformational change, to change this planet from the way that it is, which is mind controlled, to the planet that we want, which is a benevolent planet in harmony with Mother Earth. So Chairman Mao, where this all came from, by the way, said it takes only 3% of the population to create a revolution. So thank you, Chairman Mao. He says, if I can indoctrinate 3% of the population, I can have a revolution.
I always thought that was the 100 monkey thing, which was 10%.
Now, well, Chairman Mao said 3%, so it's less than the 100th monkey.
Chairman Mao.
He was the founder of the Communist China.
Oh.
Yeah. So he already told you the message that it only takes 3% to create a revolution. But that's a revolution of control. There's a revolution of the evolution of consciousness, which can counter the revolution of control. And that's exactly what we're in the midst of doing.
They're telling us already that this is what they're doing.
Yeah,
because
they have to tell you.
Tell us, right?
They have to tell you at this point. They have to tell you. It's part of the universal law. The consequences of not telling you what you're doing would be like horrific. But now that we know, when we come together and do group action, which we're doing on this call, and the more people that we can do through the Dowsing energy healing, that collectively do the deep clearing protocol on behalf of humanity, the closer we're going to get to bringing this about.
Well, President Trump posted on Twitter, which I never go on, and I just happened to, and he said that the coronavirus was all a part of being exploded by the media. I mean, he told us exactly, and I wanted to put it on Facebook, and I was like, no, I'm just, because because there's so much. I don't think that anyone would believe him anyway. So I was
Well, I
like,
mean, he has other
I
agendas
would,
and other reasons why he's saying that.
mhm,
You know, we don't know. We do know that President Trump is a disruptor, and for that we're truly grateful.
mhm,
That he's not gonna play by the rules, right? Most presidents
mhm.
all have a come to Jesus moment. So as soon as they're elected, they have a little man that shows up, or maybe he's a big guy. I don't know. I don't know what he looks like. He's probably in a black suit, right? And he puts a silver bullet or something like that on the desk, and he says, "Okay, now you're the president, and now that you're elected, let me tell you how this country is run. Okay, and this is how we do things here. And this silver bullet has your name on it. So you either get to play by our rules, or you don't get to play at all."
Mhm.
And this has been going on since Eisenhower, right? Actually, since assassination of Kennedy. So anyway, we don't want to get into conspiracy theories, but that's what's going on planet Earth. So the nice thing about Donald is he's being the disruptor. He's really causing the underbelly of America to be exposed for what it truly is. And as
Mhm.
somebody said to me today, who's American and a good friend, is, we were founded by our family, our family fathers founded the nation on slavery and on abduction and on cruelty, and what do we expect? So now this is all being exposed. So thank you, Donald Trump, for this all coming to the foreground. And he's right. The press is making a big deal of it. It's creating the fear.
Mhm.
Now, some scenarios say if you want to get a conspiracy, it's all, a red flag, and it will lead down to martial law, because it will be called the martial law will be imposed for the protection of citizens, because we need to protect them from the coronavirus. So that all being said, we can go down that path of who's doing what to whom and blah, 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 blah. Or we can say the coronavirus is a living entity. And because when we're in our own personal power and collectively in a group, we get to communicate with that virus.
Right.
So we can communicate to that virus, which I've been doing today in other groups, that we want this virus to be encoded to release the trauma of fear, doubt, shame, and guilt, the slavery that's on the planet, which comes from money and
Yeah.
usury, to free the human population. So,
Mhm.
and if it's true that the dominant vibration of good, bad, and ugly always wins, then the law of one is that the law of do no harm trumps any other nefarious reasons.
Right.
Then we are in the power position to use this fire to bring about the transformation and the birth of the new earth. So there you are. That's the opening statement.
I loved that post today that you have. That's on the Dowsing and Energy Healing site on Facebook of yours.
Well, that's not mine. That's from Unity. And if you don't know what Unity is doing, Google Unity, and she's really awesome. And she's talking about, she says, I'm the forerunner of where we are going evolutionary. And my job is to explain to you what's coming up. And so, yeah, that comes from her and her group. So, but I shared it, and I'm really grateful for that consciousness. And there's another one too. Let me see if I can find this quickly. It's everywhere. So let me just talk about it. So it's not just coming from me. It's coming from Patty Robles. If you don't know Patty Robles' work, I really highly recommend that you get to know her work. She's talking about the I am presence, how to be in that higher state of I am. And when you say I am, you're one with source or God consciousness. And when you make a directive from that, you can then change and transform everything around you. So she says, empowering our planetary grid of transfiguring divine love. She says, hi, precious hearts, due to the unprecedented influx of light that has taken place over the past several years, the I am presence, which is a divinity within every person's heart flame, is at long last reclaiming dominion over our earthly experiences. The divine intervention of our I am presence is allowing the entire company of heaven to work more closely with us than ever before. These selfless messengers of our Father, Mother, God are asking us to join with them now in unified consciousness to empower the planetary grid of transfiguring divine love that light workers have been co-creating on behalf of humanity and Mother Earth over the last 50 years. The activation of light will enable the planetary grid of transforming or transfiguring divine love to assimilate the unfathomable influx of light from our Mother God energy that will breathe it into a rhythmic momentum during the humanity's global focus that is coming. And so then she talks about this is a unique opportunity with the coronavirus to come together with the intention of this is the opportunity for birthing this new level of consciousness.
Right.
So she goes on, see if I can find one of the ones that makes sense. I am the cup, the holy grail through which the light of God now flows to bless every particle wave of life evolving on this precious planet, including all of that which we call the coronavirus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have the God-given right, according to the law of one, to do this work. And when we do it collectively, we are unstoppable. So that's one thing I wanted to share. I don't know, I can't get back onto, unfortunately, Facebook, but Bezos is talking about in a group of 20, when they come together and they do this work of collectively coming together, that the immune system can, in 5 days in group work, be higher, and the cells can transform into levels of awareness and consciousness that have been unheard of on the scientific realm until now. So in other words, we are actually at the stage where we can alter our DNA through collective action and actually bring about the ability to up the antibodies through our immunoglobulin A, through gratitude and appreciation and thankfulness, through Joe Dispenza, or Dispenza, or Dispenza, Joe Dispenza, get to say it right, through our immunoglobulin, which is the basic A, which is the fundamental aspect of our immune system, will be increased by 100 times stronger than normal in less than 5 days by working together, expressing gratitude, appreciation, and thankfulness. And he goes on to say, and also our whole DNA and our ability to replicate the DNA and do anti-aging can also be affected by that as well. So this is the importance of group action now. I mean, the forces that have been trying to control planet Earth have always worked as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Us as light workers have been all over the map that this is the better way to do it, or I don't like she doesn't have her hair parted right, or whatever the reason is, we don't want to come together, or we have made excuses not to work co-creatively. But co-creatively, by coming together in your own way in a group action, like even by doing for humanity, the deep clearing protocol, which people are signing up to do that now, will bring about the change and transformation that we need. So there we are. That's basically what I want to say. So now let's open the door and talk about this. So who wants to go first? Anybody want to put up their hand? In the chat. Okay, we got chat. What do we have in the chat here? Okay, Eduardo says, I'm on a day 20 of the deep clearing protocol, testing that I've integrated all sections into my beam. I need to do it on a needed basis, but I plan to do it for 60 days. Yeah, can you please check my status? Yeah, okay, I'm going to do that, Eduardo. Yeah, don't skip any steps. One of the things about our human mind and consciousness that wants to trick us to say you're done. Hey, don't listen to this shit. I'm in control here. And the reason it does that is that we're so used to believing that 5 senses and this body is who we really are when it isn't. It's our spacesuit for planet Earth, right? We have other spacesuits for other dimensions. This is only one of the realities we cohabitate in. It's not the only reality. And anyway, this reality is a figment of our imagination. It's not that we're worried about that they're going to create an artificial world, right, of AI. We're already in an artificial world of IA, artificial intelligence. We are creating it with every thought, word, and deed, and we think what we created is real. If we change our thoughts, it all dissolves around us, and we'll see through what we call the matrix and see what it is. So we get to be kids here. We're playing a video game individually and collectively and creating this world we live in, and we think it's real. But the beauty of it is we can change it. So let me just see. So what I'm saying is be careful that your human mind conscious, oh, well, I'm done with that. You know, it's all finished. I don't need to do any more clearing. But the fact is that you're actually going to do it for 60 days means that the deeper work is going to get done anyway. So congratulations with that. You can, you know, that's a way of getting around your human mind consciousness is by just by going and doing it. So having said all that, Eduardo, how are you doing? Yeah, you're about 75% done. So keep going. Okay. So great. And let me ask you, Eduardo, are you getting the healing that you want? I know that that's part of your goal is massive bodily healing.
Can we maybe unmute him?
Yeah, sure we can. You go ahead. You should be able to unmute him. Go for it.
Let's see.
I'll see if I can do that.
I don't think I can.
You can't? Okay.
So
Allowed to talk. There you are, Eduardo. There you are. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi. So did anything I say about the fact to be careful of your human mind consciousness that says that you're done? Did you hear any of that?
Absolutely. I heard everything and I totally understand it. Thank you.
Yeah, but you're 75% done. So how are you doing? Are you getting the deeper transformation that you wanted?
Yes, I've seen glimpses. I'm doing quite a bit of energy work, even getting rid of limiting beliefs, going through journals. So I have seen glimpses of myself definitely getting stronger. I need to work on my sleep. I need to work on better rest.
All right, so here's so why don't you run this program before you go to sleep? You know, I asked that in my I am presence, I asked for assistance from the angelic realm to provide the opportunity to have all the rest that I need to recharge my body. And then if I'm needed to be working on other dimensions to do whatever I need to be doing in the sleep state, I want to wake up fully renourished and refreshed with all the vital energy to get me through the day. And I declare it so in my holy name, so be it is done. And I do that, and I don't have to do it anymore, but I did it because I call it the night shift. Sometimes I actually think the planet is my vacation planet because I'm busier more at night on other dimensions, right? So try that. Like set up the intention with upstairs that yes, you can be working on their behalf, doing all sorts of things in other dimensions, but hey, you have a body on this dimension and you need to be healthy, happy, and holy and have all the energy to get you through the day. And if you do that, then you'll find that even if you have like 5 hours sleep and you get it out of your head that the idea that you should be tired, you'll be okay.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. I would like to say one thing about the deep clearing protocol.
Yeah.
On a good side, it definitely has helped me deal with emotions of others, and while reading something, you can't get away from it. We live in the world where it's it's plastered and we can't avoid it. The deep clearing protocol has helped me to kind of get myself out of that, to kind of bring myself back into harmony. I tap myself 3 times on the thymus, and then I touch my heart, and that's my positive trigger point.
That's great because I don't know, do you know about heart resonance work? Have you ever heard of that?
No, it sounds familiar, but I'm not aware.
Well, Google it. There's a little heart resonance gizmo that you can buy. It's only $99 on Amazon. Excuse me. The beauty of this is it teaches you how to breathe, and it has little flashing lights. And so what it has to do is coherence. And when you're coherent with your heart, there's an implosion of energy that's going on in your heart. It actually creates a 0 point. And there's Dan Winters talks about this. Dan Winters is my favorite wizard on the planet. He's a little skinny guy with long gray hair and a big fat beard who has this amazing way of understanding the implosion of love when you're in your heart. And this implosion puts you into 0 point, and in 0 point, time is enfolded. So there's no past, present, and future. It actually is in that state, Laura, that we just talked about, where you are the observer looking at your thoughts as clouds below you because you're in the zone. You're like Michael Jordan when he's in the zone. He's in the zone. He's not thinking about dunking the basketball. He's just doing it. He's in the zone. So being in that zone and operating your life from that zone means it's effortless. So getting back to this heart resonance and this little thing is the lights will flash and tell you when you're in the zone. And it entrains you to be in your heart. And then there's programs on your computer that you can play. So when you're entrained and in your heart, you can make the balloon go up, right? And when you come out, the balloon sinks down. So now you have a visual cue of when you're in your heart. And they use this technology to train first responders and emergency workers, particularly for avalanche control, for when there is volcanoes and earthquakes, because or you have to go to an accident scene, because if you're not in your heart and you're not contained and in your body fully, then when you're in a disaster zone like we are right now with the coronavirus, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. So it's a great way to learn how to be in your heart and be trained, which will always bring you to that I am consciousness and beyond it, into your true nature. So it's a great way. And when you're tapping your thalamus above it, you're tapping your high heart, which is helping you go into that 0 point state. And from that, the more you can do that, when you do your healing work from that, Eduardo, it'll have even more, like it'll have a factor of 100 times more powerful when you do your healing work from that state of beingness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for showing up. So let's go back to the other comments. So thank you, Eduardo. Hopefully that's helpful and useful. Let's see who else we have out there who is asking any questions. Can you see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, and that says, question 2, is it better to be buried than cremated? And the dark female energies attack the lower parts of me attached to ancestral reptilians. I cleared all that, but today I was feeling tired. Did I miss anything here? Good question. I prefer to be, I'm going to be cremated. My mom was cremated. My dad was cremated. My sister was cremated. I did. Why do I want to be cremated? Because it takes up much less space, I think, is part of it, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea of my ashes being scattered in the 4 winds. I like to be everywhere and nowhere all simultaneously with one breath of the wind, because I'm one with everything anyway, so why not go back to being one with everything?
Mm-hmm.
Being buried to me is like taking up real estate. Why would I want to take up real estate? I don't even need a plaque. I'm going to come back in a different form to do different work, so I don't even need a plaque, right? So yeah, so for me, it's just a personal thing. I'd rather be cremated than buried. But if I was going to be cremated, there's one place that I did see when I was in California, where it was the first burial site that was granted permission to bury the bodies in nature. So I really like that. So if I was going to be buried, I want to be buried in nature, so I'm helping grow a tree. Or I'd want to be, one of my friends we buried him on his ranch and then planted a tree. I like that idea. So that's Joe's tree, or that's the fruit from Joe. I like that idea. I like that it continues from one life form to the other. So if you're going to be buried, I love the idea of being buried in nature and being buried in a cardboard box, so you're re-nourishing the forest. It was fun to walk through that. There was little plaques under the trees of different people that were buried there. And I think it was a Buddhist temple area that got permission to do that, if I remember correctly. This is way back in the 70s. All right, dark female energies attack the lower part of me, ancestral reptilians. All I can say at this time, there should be no ancestor reptilians. We've just created a new program that we could send to you using quantum sound therapy and the battle cry. It's just called the battle cry.
And it actually worked on Ashley's daughter today, who's 6 months old. She was very upset, and I turned it on, and boom, she was happy.
Right. Do you have to turn it up, or was it just?
I had it on. Yeah. I mean, her and I both sat here, and it was like, it takes you up to a higher vibration. It's
Right.
It's relaxing and so energizing at the same time, and it's amazing. I agree. I don't know anything about ancestral reptilians. I'm not getting that.
Well, I do have. I mean, I can say a funny thing about ancestral reptilians. I mean, he's passed on now, but I was fortunate enough that Ian Lungold, who was authorized by the Mayan shaman to bring the Mayan calendar to the Western society, actually lived with us right here where I live now. And actually, he died of cancer, but as he was going through preparing for his death, he did leave to go to the States in the last week where he did die. But I got to be with him as he prepared for his death, and also spent many hours with him over the Mayan calendar and the 2012 that we were going into.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, he did the exercises like calling one soul now, where he was standing in front of a mirror, and he called one soul right now.
Right
And
now.
he said this, when he looked in the mirror, this reptilian being showed up, and he said, "What the F are you doing calling me? I don't want to be in a human body." And Ian said, "Well, you're part of me, so that's the way it's going to be." Anyway, Ian was quite a sexy dude. He was also a stripper in one of his things that he did. So anyway, he was definitely into that, right? Had lots of girlfriends. Anyway, he was quite the dude. But then, in his last days, he was really honoring his partnership, who I'm going to see her when we're in Sedona. She's a lovely lady. So he did get past all of that. But anyway, the reptilian, first time that Ian had sex, the reptilian said, "Hey, this is good stuff. I don't mind being around." Anyway, that's sort of. So yes, there are reptilian parts of our being, and you can call them back, especially if you've had lost time and space. You could have been part of an ET breeding program, and you could be in multiple dimensions that are ET related. So, if there's a dark female energy that's reptilian, it's only trying to put you in fear and control you. It's only going to try and control your DNA, because, if you're a free human, sovereign human being, with that DNA, you're going to transform all the dark ET energy into pure divine light. That's your mission. So I would say go for it. And I can't think of any female dark reptilian that wouldn't want to go to the light once they understood that they're being used by dark forces. In fact, I don't know of any lower energies. And this is what Laura and I have been learning from John Living. And by the way, Laura, that's been confirmed elsewhere just recently, and other stuff I've reading that every molecule has consciousness, every subatomic particle has consciousness. And when you talk to those levels of reality, like we are talking to the virus today, and you say, "Hey, do you know that you're being used to do things that are not beneficial to humanity? Do you know that you're being controlled?" They're shocked.
And they're all agreeing to cross over. I don't have any that aren't. So
yeah, they get excited. So you say, "Would you like to work for the light and help humanity and be part of the evolution of consciousness?" And the answer is invariably yes.
I've had them say, "God doesn't want me. They won't take me." And I said, "Well, if I open up the door, will you at least see if they'll take you?" and then they get excited when they are accepted. So I think that there's some mind control on that side too.
Yeah. So basically you just can dismantle any
Yeah.
negative energy at the higher level that's controlling all the lesser energies by liberating all the lesser energies so they don't have control over them.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
that's how I would get to work on this, Annette. I would get to work on the lower energies that you know that you have the power to transform by bringing them into the light. I mean,
And
be the wizard that you are.
Tyson always says to me, Annette, who's the boss? Are you the boss? Yes, you're the boss. And he always says that to me. And that's a good reminder. You're in control, nothing else.
So hopefully that's helpful for you.
Yeah.
So,
and if I didn't see an ancestral reptilian, you probably got rid of it. See?
yeah, let's just check in with that. I'd be proud of having an ancestor reptilian, because if you are part of a mixed race, which by the way you are, I just checked you are, then any reptilian that's done any nefarious, that's my favorite word for today, nefarious, bad shit on this planet, part of this ascension process is that they have to come back and clean it up, because they can't go through the ascension with the earth unless they clean up all of the things that they did do that weren't in alignment with the law of one, which is do no harm.
Right.
So this is sort of like in the Bible, it says, separating the sheep from the goats, or I don't know how the wording in the Bible goes, but this is the harvest time. This is the reaping. This is Armageddon, and it's not that anybody's doing that separation. The separation is done energetically. It's done according to the law of one. It's done karmically. If you messed with other people's evolution, and there's karmic consequences of that.
Right.
And now's the time to clean that up. And it doesn't matter what race you're from, or what AT, or what planet. If you messed with the human race, which is about to go through ascension, and the planet, you got to clean that up, or you're going to be in a lockdown. And if you're in a lockdown, you got 36,500 years for the next time that this comes around. Or even longer. Actually, it's more than longer than that. That's only for one period. So, this is a unique time. And for those of us that are in bodies, this is a sacred place to be in. You did the work, let me tell you. You did the work in past lives to be here in a body. And all the entities who want to be inhabiting your body, like this AET, said, hey, I want to be part of this game. This is an awesome place. I don't have a body. Let me inhabit somebody else's body. That's what they're doing. Yeah. They want to be part of this experience. So I asking you, do you want to have people piggybacking in your field? I don't mind if they're piggybacking not in my field. They can be around. I don't mind carrying many, many souls on my coattails, right? Which is outside of my body, right, in my light aura, but I don't want them in my body. No piggybackers are allowed in my body. You can ride my coattails. You can be in my energy field. You can use my energy field. Go to the light. You can use my energy field to transform your consciousness. Any nefarious being, any negative being that touches my energy field will be transformed into pure divine light. That's the agreement I have. So if you want to go to the light, just come in, touch my field, and you're going to the light. You got a free pass.
Yep.
Better than that.
Yep.
So that's where I am. And Annette, you are a wizard in a dress, a wizardress. So it's time for you to get out your magic wand and use it and do this.
I agree.
Well, that's how I think about it. All right. So
by raising our vibration, we can avert the coronavirus, which I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And by raising our vibration, we can stop any ET from in and much help. Thank you, very ancient reptilian. And look, an ancient reptilian will not show up in your energy field unless they want something that they know that you can give them. And the more the ancient, the better, is because there's an energy match karmically that you are allowed to help them do this evolutionary transformation and change. You can be the light, the phoenix, the energy of transformation for this being. Otherwise, it wouldn't show up.
Right.
You understand? You're the one who's the boss. You're the boss. and they're showing up in gratitude and saying, help me. So the fact that you have an ancient reptilian being, and yes, abracadabra is probably a good thing to say with your magic wand, and raising your vibration and allowing them to transform. So
Right. I
and stay out of fear.
that this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. I'm crossing things over all the time. It's like nonstop, just over and over and over and over. And if you can do that, Annette, boy, what a help you would be helping with the people that are here to do that.
Yeah, it's tremendous. So ancient reptilians, Annette has got the passport to the higher levels of light. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what
All
do you
right, so-
think we're going to be seeing more of this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think we're going to have even projections of, 3D projections of interspace reptilian invasion, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to get so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great. The crazier it gets, it's harder to believe. So
how, like for me, I've been shown what to do when the when those aliens come around and whatever. Have you been shown what to do?
well, all I know is if I'm in my true nature, then I'll be in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Right.
I'm not, so be it. If I'm exterminated, I mean, I've already been put in a position by the lords of dark, or whoever you want to talk about, said, look, you don't do what you're told, we're going to annihilate you. Your passport's going to be null and void in India. You're going to get sick and you're going to die here, and you're going to be incarnated as a Hindu in a body that's paraplegic and can't be moved. You'll need one person to move each arm and one in each for each leg if you don't do what we want you to do. And I said, F you. Go ahead and do it, because I called down those beings that I had contact with. I mean, It made me reach for, in this case, for me, it was, I knew that I had some connection with Master Kathumi and El Moria, which is really through, Andy Besant and the Theosophical Society. I felt I had some connection to those dudes. They made sense to me. So I called them down and had them help me in that moment. But it was a life and death situation. I went through a near-death experience because of that.
Yeah.
And my solution to that was, okay, kill me right here. Do me in. Because I will reincarnate, regress me to a rock. And I'll reincarnate from a rock, and I'll be right back here standing in front of you. So go, do it. Get it over with right now. It's your choice, because I'm standing in my truth no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did I kiss the ground when I got off the plane? I went back in Canada. You're damn right I did. It was a scary, scary ride, right? Scary ride.
Yeah.
Scary ride. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not taking this
What
stuff
did you
lightly.
learn from that, though? Don't let fear rule you either, because
No,
we work for a higher realm too than them.
that's
And
right.
And those are just words and poking at your biggest fears. That's what I've learned. Like, bring it. Like, you can't scare me anymore. I got it.
Yeah. And if you do shoot me or take me out in the back 40 and do me in, I'm just going to come back and do it anyway. So.
Right, but even then I'm better off anyway. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, right.
So I think I'll be like, okay, send me back to home. Fine, okay. Then I'll come back, like you said, and finish the work. But they're never going to get rid of me.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So who wants to stick up their hand with a question? Or do you want me just to open up and ask you a question? It's quiet out there all of a sudden.
I know. We're not getting very many.
All right. So let's do Sandy Young. So Sandy, what's up?
She's not talking.
She's not talking?
She's not talking. How about Ozeg?
Jose, oh yeah. So so let's allow her to talk. How are you?
Oh, she's on mute too.
Okay,
No one wants to talk. They all want to listen tonight. They all
unmute.
wanna listen. No questions about, how about we talk about the Sedona in
All right. So to remember, you can always ask a question through the chat, right? And we'll catch it there and answer it for you, right? So just scrolling through. So yeah, so for Sedona, I dowsed for the Sedona, and I'll just do that now. Is that workshop going to go ahead? And I don't know whether my dowsing is wacko, but it says yes. So
yeah, I keep getting yes.
so I'm, and lest they close the border down, and the latest information that I have is through the media is that it's highly unlikely that they'll close the American-Canadian border. There's just too much traffic, and it will disrupt business too much to do that. So my intention is, even if there's nobody in that classroom in Sedona, I have every intention of teaching from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have every intention of going out to the vortices, because it's part of the making the grid work that you were doing, Laura, that you were talking about, and making the earth Merkaba. I want to go there and do ceremony, and I want to teach people how to do that. And if you can't make it in person, it is going to be videoed. Laura's going to be the videographer. I'm going to teach her how to do it. She doesn't know that yet. So she's going to be the video lady. And
Right.
yeah, she's going to be awesome. I'm going to give her a crash course in video.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So it's going to be, so what I'm saying to you is, if you can't make it in person, you can attend in Zoom. And if you can't make it at the time of Zoom, it's all going to be recorded and be available. So please register so that we can get the numbers up and know that it's worthwhile doing this, okay?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
Sedona's beautiful this time of year. Our good friend Tony lives there, and I chat with him every single day. It is beautiful. They say to dress in layers, because as the day goes on, it's going to get warmer, and it's just going to be amazing. I can feel it. It's going to be wonderful. It'll be great to get out in the sunshine. My friends here in Wisconsin and in the Midwest, hello. Aren't you tired of this yet? Come on down to Sedona for a week. Come on. And
Yeah, really. So I'm just gonna see if I can open, because everything went down, so I can't even get on. So I'm just gonna get in and see. I'm quite excited about what's coming through for the second day. So I'm just gonna see if I can get in and read you what that's all about. So,
going on to the vortices?
yeah.
Yeah. There's two big ones that Tony has set up for us to go to. They are, he says, just amazing.
Well, one of them is Cathedral Vortex. So here it is. I'm just on the page.
Go.
Maybe I can just share it. See if I can share it.
Oh, that would be fun.
All right. So let me just share it here. Share screen. Okay, here we are. So here's the share. So this is Dowsing Healing Workshop in Sedona.
There we go.
And it's day one is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And as I said, it will be broadcast on through Zoom. So you'll be learning how to improve your intuition, communicate with your higher self, angels, spirit guides, guardian angels, divine elementals, all levels of consciousness that we were talking about on this show. How to commune with every level of creation, and even out to the multiverse. So it's only a matter of energy and attuning to that energy. So we'll do some exercises and practices around that. How to raise your life force and energy for healing, which we talked about on this show, which is the deep clearing protocol, how to do that, how to clear yourself and why it's important, how to determine the energy patterns of your home and how to change your home energy, look for geopathic stress and change that, how to transmute negative energies, how to strengthen your immune system, how to maintain your dowsing accuracy, how to clear what you don't want, how to manifest what you do want, how to change beliefs, how to find lost objects, and where were we? Map dowsing, how to determine whether you are taking the right vitamins or supplements, how to determine the truth factor, what people are saying. Is that a book I should read? What's the important part of the book? Is it chapter 1, 2, or 3? Or what's the truth of that person that I want to work with? Are they worth working with on a factor of on a scale of 0 to 100? How trustworthy are they? How to energize and use water for healing, learn various energy healing techniques. Well, actually, be teaching you and having you come up and learn the techniques so that you know that you can actually do them yourself.
And this is just amazing. And that's in one day. That's in one day. That's brilliant. I'm so excited. These people are just they're getting a lot for what they're paying. And this is gonna be amazing.
And then on day 2, we're going to do a field trip to Bell Rock and Cathedral Rock vortices. We're going to hike in about 15 minutes for each one. So bring your walking sticks. We'll be carpooling to each one of the sites.
And hiking shoes, because I hear that if the rocks get wet, that it's very slippery. So please bring your hikers.
Yeah, bring your good hiking shoes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about geomancy and the spirit of the earth. Some of the time we'll be in the shade talking about this in the actual vortex itself. So we'll be enhanced by the vortex. So this will be an outdoor class. So we're talking about geomancy and the spirit of the earth, how to recognize the earth landscape temple, how to commune with the landscape angel, what are crystal skulls and sacred sites all about. I'll be bringing my crystal skull to have a moment to be able to attune with the crystal skull. He's amazing. He likes to hang out with people. He's known to do sleepovers, so maybe we can arrange to have a sleepover. He gets around, that boy. Landscape, sacred geometry, understanding human and landscape vortices, communing with the human and landscape divas, personal and planetary healing exercises using collective consciousness, and what is personal and planetary ascension. And of course, included in this is my book, which is Personal to Planetary Transformation or Ascension, or Dowsing and Energy Healing for Personal and Planetary Transformation. Hopefully I get to add some more to that. If I don't, this workshop will be adding to the second part of that book of how to work with the earth. So you can come and join us on Zoom, or you can participate after the fact, which is because all of it will be video recorded. So there you are. And for those that are wondering, what about that? I'm going to add in, I just produced another one, which is another 2-day course that we did in the First Nations in Alberta. And we did this about 4 years ago, and the video was really, really terrible. It had a lot of noise, and I spent the money and had my wizard in video take the noise out. So that that's going to throw that in too. So that's working with clearing residential schools, working with First Nation. There's a pipe ceremony in the tent that we were partly part of. And there's, I don't know how many hours there's 2 days worth of actual learning there. So I'm going to throw that in as well. So that not only do you get this whole workshop, but you get another whole 2-day workshop as well. And part of that is John Living teaching. So, yeah, that's going to be exciting. That's never been released before. Oh yeah, and there's dowsing and permaculture, how to work with the land, and how to use dowsing in permaculture. So,
wow.
Yeah. I'm going to add that in. I'm going to throw that in as a bonus. It isn't even up here yet, but that's my bonus that I'm adding. Okay.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah, so those will be in video form that you'll download after that, but you have free access to that. So, okay, so there you are. That's what this is upcoming. So God willing, I will be in Sedona, and we will be teaching there. All right, do we have any? Raise your hand. Okay, so let's see.
Can we stop fracking energetically?
Sorry?
There's a question from Annette. Can
Okay.
we stop fracking energetically?
I didn't get that. Say it again.
Can we stop fracking
energetically?
Mhm.
That's a great question. Yeah, I'm going to tell you a story, and then you can then copy it. So I have friends in the Kootenays who did exactly what I'm going to talk about how you could do this fracking. They were in a community water. There was logging of old growth in their community watershed. That's where their water comes from, and they did the traditional, environmental action where they chained themselves to the bulldozer and did all sugar in the gas tank and all those horrible things.
Oh my God.
Signs and did all that stuff. I'm an environmentalist. I come from an environmental movement. For 20 years, 30 years, I was called as an environmentalist, and worked in both at the local watershed level. I was an advisor to the provincial government, the federal government, and to the United Nations in environmental issues. So this is my background, right? So anyway, what they did is they decided that this was not the way to go. So they got together, and what they decided to do was gather DNA, living DNA from the watershed. So bits of bark, leaves, mushrooms, dried, fur from animals, feathers from birds, all the DNA that they could get their hands on. And then they took a map of the watershed and they put all the DNA on top of the watershed. And then they did a clearing intention, right? Which would go something like this. I don't know how they did it, but they did a clearing intention, which was all this is sacred land and needs to be protected. And they did it in a small group of 6 to 8 people, and they told nobody what they did because they knew that they needed to keep it tight. They needed to create a crucible in order to birth this energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then with the intention, they put it onto the map and the DNA, and then they took a picture of the DNA and they shrunk it down and they put it on their business card. So now at the roadblock, they handed out their business card. Now all that energy went to all the loggers and all the people. And guess what?
How long did it take?
Not very long.
I couldn't imagine. That was brilliant. That's brilliant minds right there. Beautiful.
So this is what I call being a silent warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In this program, Laura and I have got our head up over the horizon talking about things I usually don't talk about. I'm usually below the horizon, so there's no kickback. But at this point, I don't care. I think it's important that I get work out. But generally, I'm below I call it being a stealth environmental eco-warrior. I
Right.
do these planetary actions where you can't track me energetically.
Yeah. And I've been told the same thing we've been told for a long time, not to share it, not to just tell anyone. I always ask before I share anything. But I agree with you. I think game over.
Game over.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. So yeah, and that's how you could do it. So what would you do? I would take I think the power there. Yes, we can do global actions, and I'm working with many groups who are doing global actions and running various energies like the battle cry. We've done that to the coronavirus in different groups. So I am doing planetary actions every Wednesday and every Sunday in groups, and also in other masterminds that I'm part of. But I think the intensity increases when you're in your own watershed. So Annette, if they're fracking in your backyard and you did what I just said, the power of that local group will really trump the energy. So yes, you can do it at the bioregional level. You can do it at the watershed level, the bioregional level, which is the bioregion is a watershed of watersheds running in together, right? Mm-hmm. So at the bioregional level, you can do it. You can do it at the geographical level of a state, and then you can do it at a nation state or whatever. But the point I'm trying to say is the intensity is magnified, I believe, by doing it at your local level. There's something really, really powerful. So if there's fracking happening in your backyard, get 8 people together and just do this and watch the magic happen. Remember, as we said in this call, the dominant energy always wins.
Always.
Always. So be the dominant energy for good, right?
Yep. Yep. For good is right.
Yeah, for the law of one, do no harm, and the most benevolent outcome for all concerned.
Now you just wonder why we're not on Facebook, like why they're not allowing us on Facebook Live, why it's not happening.
Well, one of the things that is happening is when you do this, the technology has to be cleansed and cleared ahead of time for it to carry all this energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But look we have this group of people that needed to hear this. I will be uploading this back to Facebook, so it's not as though it's lost, but
right.
Yeah, I think the reason is that the people that showed up needed to hear this and be able to participate in it and ask questions. So that I don't know how we're doing for time, and I don't know if there's any more questions.
We're at the top of the hour. Yeah.
All right. So is there any last questions that you can see there?
How
How
many?
many people are here? Good question. Okay, how many people are here?
10.
There are 2 of us, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 8 people,
Oh, I thought that there was 8.
isn't there? Yeah, there's 8 people. It says down below, 8 participants.
Oh, I see. 6 attendees. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. But
All right.
thank you for showing up, everyone.
But 8 is a sacred number. I mean, it's infinity. So
Mm.
just think of that, as above. So you have one part of the circle above and one part of the circle below. So when you move the energy from the higher realm as above to so below, you're replicating. So this is involution. The upcoming up is evolution. Involution, evolution, involution, evolution. And in the center is the 0 point we talked about. So if you breathe that way, so imagine, so just do this, breathe. So I want you to breathe from the center point being your heart. Breathe up the back of your head, over the top of your head, back into your heart, down the back of your spine, up through your grounding chakra, up the front, into your heart, up the back of your head, over the top of your head, down into your heart, down your back, up through the front of your being, and just do that. Do 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're fast.
6. Yeah, that's okay. You count it out. Let's do 5 of yours.
5 of mine?
Yeah.
Okay. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5.
Okay, so
But I really like to feel it.
Laura, so in the feelings, did you feel a warmth or a coolness?
Cool.
Good. All right, so this is how the Tibetans do their breathing. This is part of that near-death experience I was talking about. Actually, this is another experience, but anyway, when I had to learn how to breathe. But anyway, so this is the cooling that the Tibetans use to cool on a hot day. Now, for your homework, everybody on this call, do the reverse, and you'll find that your body will heat up. And then I want you to then test it out. Laura, you need to go into the snow with frozen blankets over your shoulder and see if you can melt.
There's no snow left here. Maybe in your yard, but not in mine.
And we'll see if you could warm up the blankets and cause the cold to evaporate. But seriously, that's the Tibetan breath for cooling or heating the body, which goes to show you how your whole metabolism rate can be changed. Just like I said, you can change the way that the hemoglobin in your blood, and you can program what we talked about, the hemoglobin A, to raise up your immune system in a group, by having gratitude, by focusing on gratitude, appreciation, and thankfulness, right? And not only that, Joe Dispenza says that when you're in a group, the effect is 100 times stronger than normal, and that there's actual scientific evidence of changing and reversing aging by concentrating on this process. So they're literally having scientific evidence that we have the ability to transform our bodies, which is what we've been saying in this show today, that we are living in an artificial intelligence of the collective consciousness of all of our thought forms on planet Earth, which has been full and ridden with fear, doubt, shame, guilt. And now, through the coronavirus and our new intention, we're birthing a new earth where there's love, compassion, understanding, gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation. And it's our divine right to do that.
And
So-
appreciation, I found, along with my gratitudes in the morning and thankfulness, really gets the vibration flowing when you appreciate the people that are around you too. I appreciate you every day, Tyson.
Well, thank you.
You
And
feel that?
this is the book that I'm doing with my coach, and where I'm doing my appreciation. And here it's called Gains.
Gains.
Okay, so that's my little book. And in it, I'm tracking all of the gains, all the magic that's showing up in my life.
All the magic.
Yeah, and all of the abundance.
And you're tracking it?
Yeah, there's all my abundance.
Wow.
And
you're
that's all my
working on-
gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you some more.
And remember to always write with blue pen on white paper. It's the highest vibration.
Mine's black on white, but anyway.
Try blue.
All right, and then I got green underlining all of that. So anyway,
Little,
there you
little
are.
Laura.
Yeah, so everybody on the call, maybe create your own gains book, or or your own way of recording your gratitude and your personal claim. Don't forget that money is nothing more than a measure of your value that you create in the world
Mhm.
by helping other people.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyson.
And have gratitude when you pay your bills.
It's all online, but thank you.
All right. Let's call it a wrap.
All right.
We're back, same time, same place. We'll try and be at Facebook next week, see if we're allowed to do that energetically. Until next week, same time, same place, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.